Aloha, Ericka. Ericka. Combination of my dad and your dad's mom. Ericka. You came into my life and changed it. You gave me a will to live and hope that I could change my life. And I went to nursing school when you were just a baby. And most of my life was dedicated to nursing more than being a mom. Mom meant keeping a roof over your head and trying to become something that you could be proud of. My life and plans and hopes and all of that tanked about the time you were a year and a half, 2, so broken by all the pressures. I think you can probably empathize now of feeling so alone while your man is away. And then when they come home, they act like the whole world stopped. Like everything's supposed to revolve around them now. And then you're left alone to try to keep up with the absolutely overwhelming pace, responsibility, moving parts of a life with children. And I slipped up and I fell for Gator's seductions, needing to feel pretty, seen, cared for. I went out and I got drunk and I slept with him. And I woke up the next morning filled with shame and guilt. And I think I convinced myself whatever. I wound up telling your dad and getting with Gator. I think probably that was the absolute biggest mistake of my life. And it piled on another thing that internally I've needed to be punished for somehow. Your dad was great in some ways, and he wasn't in others. And I think I've always held Jesse on this pedestal and taken full accountability for that I messed that up. But I wasn't the only one messing that up. So many things have been I've taken as my fault. And going back now in my therapy, I remember back when I was 4.5. And that's when it really began, that my sister just had to cry and say she did it. And I would be punished and called all kinds of horrible names. And I'm sure you can probably empathize with that a little bit with the Tyler thing, where you got heaps of shit piled on you by Ericka and Amy, and I sent you to live with Grandma and Grandpa. She did it, right? She did it. You and Leanna had some of that going on, I believe. You and Amy. Sibling stuff. Oof. I don't think there's enough, therapy that's focused around our siblings and the dynamics that are at play there. A lot of times parents aren't even aware of, or they're encouraging it, actually setting up situations for competition, jealousy. My parents sure did. And for the most part, because I have been up until just recently and working on shifting that. And running a belief, and accepted a belief, invented a belief when I was a child that it was my job to suffer and I deserved punishment. And the world would be better off without me. The only thing I was here for was to make others feel better, happy, caretake them. And I had never been taught how to love myself. I didn't know who myself was. And even now, is that self Malia? Is that self Rose? Is that self Loki? All these parts and pieces of me. Is that Nikki? That's who got pregnant with you, Nikki. Life is far more difficult for ones like me and you than my mom and dad, Auntie and Tim, even Leanna and Blake could ever possibly imagine. Relate to, comprehend, have compassion for, understanding. And their religious, dogmatic, delusional, pretty on the surface and rotten underneath. Looks good to the world, though, right? Doing okay financially. But all their kids is by one father, right? Must be doing it right because they're together. We both know Mom and Dad were not happy together. Angie and Tim ain't happy together. They're sick together. But you'd rather join their ranks than mine. You would rather continue that legacy than mine. You would rather exclude me from your life than deal with the complexity or chance losing them in your life, even though you can't be real with them. You somehow have I don't know, like, you went to live with your dad when you were 7 because he broke his neck. Gator had fooled around on me, and you wanted to go. From the very beginning, you loved your daddy. And then you got where you wanted to know me. You went through major fucking chaos saying, I want to know my mom, I want to know my mom. And I went through so much. I sent myself into bankruptcy while I was sick, struggling to come get you. Oh, yep, I was a mess. Sometimes I ponder on, maybe it would have been better if I did kill myself back then, and you hadn't to come to live with me. And maybe I had died, and you'd have been able to grow up with some other story created about me. And Amy had, I just cannot imagine Amy having grown up with Gator. You and her wouldn't have known each other at all because your dad hated her and her dad. So think about that, because Amy's kids are now with the father, and that pretty much takes them completely out of my reach. I'm not quite sure why I never did anything to either one of those men. And while I've slung some shit within my own family, I have not done so with them. This whole thing is about men dominating everything. And holding in place the separation of all of us, of me, from my own children and grandchildren. I would love to shift this around, men, but it is not entirely up to me. Your husband has not apologized. He has not once humbled himself Y'all keep denying he did something even serious, and he shattered my trauma body. And you won't even take ownership of that. You hurt me at the worst time in my life. And you've used your children to do so further. And Amy's children. And that's you in the bigger sense of Leanna, Angie, Chris, Josh. You have destroyed me. In the eyes and hearts of my grandchildren. With lies. As I am in no way, shape, form, or fashion not allowed around children. There's nothing in CPS that says I cannot be around children. That is the biggest and longest lasting lie. And if you're going to claim it's not, then you need to provide proof, because I have sought for proof, and there is none. There is none. So I've been slandered, attacked, used. 2 years of taking care of your children, taking care of those boys. I did my part to have a relationship with your sons. And I have said from the very beginning, I have struggles around that, and I have been under-resourced and unassisted, and attempted to do so in some majorly messed up situations to hold calm as best I could, with lots of moving pieces going on that were of absolutely none of my doing. I don't know what I'm doing here except to get some of this out, to process some more at deeper levels, to clear it and finally let it go. Maybe. Let go of what? Let go of hope this would ever be different. Hope that if somehow I said it well enough, if I explained it just right, if I stayed, if I just punish myself enough, or ruminate on it enough, or pray hard enough about it, that your heart would shift. Somehow I could fix it, but I didn't break it. Yeah, I fooled around on your dad, who, the longer this goes on and the more you grow up and look, you'd have to prove to me that you're not his kid at this point too, because you sure do look a lot like him and you act a lot like him. I don't know what all happened with your dad and Sharon and all of that. I know I came and got you. I know that I've leapt every time you have given me the least little input or chance at being there for you. 100%. Like, even as a teenager, man, like, I went and picked you up from, what's his name, Justin. I was there for you through the one in Louisiana, through wasn't his name Josh or something. I came and got you every time you called. I went, broke leases and got houses, and you have just slammed doors on me and cut me out, and I've jumped, and and Amy told me, don't go back over there. Mom, she'll do it to you again. I always defended you. I even defended you abusing me. You're screaming at me at your wedding. You never apologized for that. Just jumping on me viciously. You never even was like, took me out to dinner for us to be together. Went away with me for a little bit. He'll keep his own kids for a little bit. He didn't even give me time off after my mama died. This is the appreciation that you show. I need to just accept that if this is ever gonna get fixed, or if there's ever gonna be a chance, that's on you this time. Just in my heart, stay available, willing to respond should you reach out. Should any of my grandchildren reach out? Should any of my other children reach out? I will respond. I will be pleasantly surprised. And I will continue to do my work to be a better person, have more skills and abilities, and to have some really good stories to tell. And oh man, do I have some good stories to tell. I mean, so much wisdom, and I could be pouring this out into my grandchildren, but me not being able to is not my fault at all. At all. There's nothing I have done to deserve being completely cut off from my grandchildren. Especially when compared to what some of the other people in their lives that are allowed in their lives have done. Just like with Leanna, I respected her right to decide who is in her children's lives. And when she didn't want me there, I did not seek out contact with them. Now the boys are grown. They could reach out if they wanted to. I don't know how to find them. So I assume that they don't want me in their lives. I don't want to be in anybody's life that doesn't want me in their life. I want to be cherished and appreciated, cared for. I've lived my life caring for others. And if we truly do get back what we put out, I got some coming to me. God got us willing at exactly the right times, which God has brought me strangers that have treated me better than my family has. I would love to develop a healthy relationship with my grandchildren. My grandsons, too. I would love to be involved in molding them into men women don't have to recover from. I'm recovering from them, too. So we're going to probably have to put that on to the next generation after them. But see, I look that far in advance. And I'm working towards that. And everything that I do with my art. And yeah, when I was there, oh man, I have wounding around my mother and art and creativity. And I've only embraced being an artist since I left there. It's what saved my life. The art, creative expression. I would love to share that with my grandchildren. And I can envision a different kind of relationship. We would just talk on video chat. And come and visit me every now and then. Something where we're supportive of each other's individual journeys and adventures. I am a grandmother, but I don't get to be a grandmother. Because you, Leanna, Ian, Josh, Chris, Leanna, all have made the decision that you think somehow I don't deserve to be a grandma. Guess you think you know better than God, because God made me their grandmother. That's dangerous. That's satanic. An inversion of God's rightful order. I thank you for giving me the opportunity to learn how to love myself and know myself and stop sacrificing myself. I can't even imagine how you do this. Cut somebody off like you do. How Leanna does it. My sister. These are the dynamics that killed Amy. It's cruel. It's so cruel. But a ghost, huh? I deserve to be Grandma. I don't know what stories y'all have put into these children's heads. And I don't understand at all why you would want to put a shitty story in their heads when you could be telling such a story of triumph and service and love, courage, resilience. Compassion. Anyway. So I think what I'm going to do for my own mental health and well-being is delete your numbers and your email from my phone so that I'm not tempted to reach out to you anymore. Because reaching out and having silence and or the little blips and then silence again, like it's like torture. Torture. If and when it's a priority to you to have connection with your mother, or for your children to have their grandmother in their lives, and you're willing to make some effort reach out to me. And if not, oh, I hope you're right. That book is wrong. And you don't get judged the way that you were judged in others. And you don't get back what you put out. I'm going to keep living like it's true. And I'm going to keep putting out good and caring for people that, and well, my elders, well. And maybe one day somebody will take care of me. But I'm going to bank on right now, then it'll have to be strangers to become my family, not blood family. I hope you're finding peace in your decisions.